One of the reasons why I talk about postmodernism so much is because it fits so easily with Polynesian culture. In fact, you could probably say Polynesian culture is hyper-postmodern because it's all about authority. So in Polynesia, we have this thing called mana, which is kind of like a sacred honor or respect that each person carries. And since all the history of the origins of the Polynesian people is carried orally, the way you recognize the historian with the correct or accurate history is by whoever has the most mana. That could be your favorite uncle, an academic, your grandpa, the village chief. Whoever in your mind has the most mana, they have the correct tradition. And so that's what's so awesome about watching this podcast, is they basically just debate this over and over. In this particular case, they're debating the origins of Maui. To me, this is like more exciting than watching people debate the Trinity. But the main difference here is the basis isn't in historical manuscripts, it's in names of the people, traditions, names of the islands, etc.
But wait a minute, you said he's a god. So is he a Samoan or is he a god? Right?
Yeah.
And what we're saying is, you think he's a god. Well, we're telling you he's Tongan. We have a specific location in Tonga where he lived. And that's
where the Tangaloa comes from, yes.
And that's where just like Maui. Maui comes from Tonga. There's a Maui in Tonga to this day. There's a family, right? The Tu'i Tonga, there is a lineage.
Now, this is increasingly important as increasing percentages of Polynesians become members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because you'll find that our oral traditions become reinterpreted accordingly. For instance, you'll find that many more oral traditions are starting to trace back to Hagoth, the character from the Book of Mormon, saying that in fact it was Hagoth who gave birth to several of Polynesia's most well-known legendary heroes.
Contact between Polynesians and Native Americans happened only one time. The people on these islands have a very high probability of sharing a recent common ancestor on their Native American genome. This was not a huge and varied population of Native Americans adding genes into this Polynesian group. Very small number of people involved, probably.
Now, this contact between Polynesia and the ancient Americas is very important because in the Bible in Genesis, the tribe of Judah is given a promise that they'll have kings in their line all the way until Jesus comes. However, this promise seems to go unfulfilled as all the Judean princes get slain or go unaccounted for. The daughters of Zedekiah keep his bloodline alive by escaping into Europe, supposedly Ireland, and there they start the European royalties. But one of King Zedekiah's sons escapes to the ancient Americas, keeping the male royal line of Zedekiah and Judah alive. And that's why the Polynesian contact with the ancient America is so important. If the ancient Judean royal line escaped the ancient Americas and ran into Polynesia, and there became the lineage of the kings that stands today, then that promise given to Judah is still intact.